our way to Florida, and Oliver is dressed as a penguin because it's comfortable, and Phil and I are dressed normally. Ugh. I contrived the ultimate car toy. I got this miniature cookie sheet from the dollar store and a bunch of dollar store magnets, and the boy played with the magnets on the cookie sheet in his car seat. It was awesome. And he learned his alphabet and his numbers. Educational too. Score. We stopped at a Quiznos along the way, and Oliver loves Quiznos sandwiches. Sandwich! 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 Some bite! Cute! We also got to stay in Marriott hotels on the way there because Phil's friend has the hookup. He works there. Oliver was none too pleased about the hotel. It was his first time sleeping in a place other than his bedroom at night in like a year. And he's a year and a half old, so he doesn't really remember last year's vacation. This was his first time at a hotel. But anyway, he recovered. In the morning, he was fine. And we got back in the car and we drove some more. Okay, Phil, your hair doesn't look that bad. You don't have to cover it with this.
Excuse me. This is my painter's hat. I look great with like a painter hat. Oh, bonsoir. Comment allez-vous? Je suis. My name is Philippe. I'm in love with whatever the hell this is.
We arrived in Florida at 11 o'clock at night.
And our stupid Magellan told us to go down a four-wheeler road. It was disastrous.
Wait. So then there's no cell phone reception for like 30 minutes outside of our destination.
It was terrible. I didn't know where I was going. I was like, but the Magellan tells us to go down this road.
It was like a bike trail.
There was a tree down. There was a tree down.
Get out of the car, push the tree out of the way.
I was like, well, it looks like somebody's driven here before.
Yeah, in 1980.
Yeah, it was
Or
terrible.
1890.
Like, even if I was on an off-road bike, I'd probably question whether that was actually the trail or not.
Oh, and then, like, here I am, and I'm all concerned that a tree is gonna, like, fall down on top of our car, and we're, like, an hour away from the nearest hospital.
Oh,
no
yeah.
cell phone reception. Like, it was so crazy. So, anyway.
The stupid Magellan said 0.1 miles this way, so I just went that way.
So he just assumed that, like, it was safe, and I'm like, Phil, there's gotta be another way to get there. But no. So he gets out of the Prius. Oh, and then we're dragging something. We don't know what the heck we're dragging. But anyway, so we drive and we go through like this. It was scary.
It was all sandy.
Like wilderness.
It was disastrous.
All you could see, like even when you look up, all you saw were like a canopy of trees in the dark, and it was like haunted. It was so scary. So
It looked like, what was that one where they filmed with all the video cameras? You know that one show?
Do you know what he's talking about? Okay,
yeah,
anyway.
Blair Witch Project. Bam.
There we
Blair
go.
Witch style.
Okay,
it was scary as. Oh. It was totally scary.
So then he goes, Mary, there's an intersection. And I go, what, with another bike path? But it wasn't a bike path. It was a real street. So I'm like, oh my gosh, there's a real street out here. And it was a dirt road, but it was a street, not like a bike path.
The next day we found out that we could have just gone around. I mean, it would have been like a mile and have scratched the hell out of
it would have
Prius.
been civilization as opposed to like the four-wheeler road.
And now I have to wax the Prius. It's terrible. Again.
Well, thank you. Thanks for doing that.
Well,
anyway,
otherwise it would look like.
So we got to the intersection and we turned and we did make it to the house, okay, which was great. Since we couldn't call anybody if we didn't make it. If we didn't make it there, we'd be sleeping in the car.
Yeah, who the hell are we gonna call? It wasn't cell phone reception.
It was crazy.
We were in the middle of the Panhandle. It was a disaster.
It wasn't the Panhandle. Okay.
Wasn't that the Panhandle? You know, like it's the Panhandle.
Is that? I thought that panhandling was begging.
No. That's I don't know what that is. No,
so it's a place, like a shape of
the Panhandle.
Okay. Anyway,
of
look. My point
state.
is. Okay.
Imagine holding it.
It was like by a national forest or something. Anyway, so we finally made it, and the house was very, very nice.
And clean.
But Oliver was, yes, it was really, really nice, but we had to wake Oliver up at 11 o'clock at night and get him out of the car to bring him inside. Oh my gosh.
Oh, why are you waking me up? Oh.
Phil, there might be, like, Oliver's going to watch this someday, and he's going to be like, Daddy's cursing.
That's going to be exactly what he's going to think. He's going to be like, yeah, those are my emotions at the time.
So the house was beautiful, immaculate, tastefully decorated, everything. The baby is like, WTF, I want to go home now. In the morning, we let Oliver watch Signing Time so he could feel a little bit more at home in a strange place. But as you can see, the strange place was beautiful. That's the outside of the house, and we would happily live there if it was only in Chicago. It was like the ideal size and everything. And this house that we were like across the street from was actually the house where my cousin got married. It was so beautiful. Oh my gosh, just listen to the birds here. Oliver is exploring sand on a sand road. Hi, Oliver. Aw, the birds make it sound so summery. It was like 77 degrees there, by the way. Lovely. I feel a little bit like I'm in Rwanda. Look at this street. So on our way back from playing in the sand in the street, we came back to the house and we helped set up the tents and everything, or really Phil helped and I watched Oliver. Oliver got a wheelbarrow ride with a little girl who put her arms around him, and they rode together in this wheelbarrow, and it was like so country and awesome, and I loved it, but I didn't get any pictures. And he was wearing a Batman costume at the time too, so it would have been a great picture. But anyway, okay, so later on, the wedding. Since the wedding was going to be in a backyard, we were instructed not to dress up. So the only one who really dressed up was Oliver, and he wore a tuxedo, and he was the finest dressed baby ever, and definitely outdid us. So later that afternoon, it was time for the wedding, and it was in the backyard of that beautiful house I had shown you, and it was waterfront and gorgeous, and it was really romantic. Apparently the bride and groom wrote their own vows, and everybody was crying, including the judge. But I kind of missed it because we discovered a lizard, and Oliver and I spent the whole time watching the lizard. Well, most of the time. Anyway, but it was so fun. If I could get married again, this is totally the kind of wedding that I would want. Like, it was gorgeous, and it was an intimate little ceremony, and it was in a comfortable, informal place, and everybody who was there was comfortable and just happy and wonderful and ready for a good time. After the wedding, we had dinner, which the bride made herself, the lasagna noodles from scratch and everything. And then we went outside and we watched the sunset. And after we watched the sunset, we watched the moon come up. That was moon, folks, in French, English, and sign language.
Oliver, I'm here in Nowheresville, Florida, on a beautiful lake with a beautiful little boy and baby.
So here we are doing some dancing, and it was just a CD player with bluegrass music, but it did the trick and we had a great time.
He loves it. He's smiling and giggling.
So he was actually really good. He had dancing and music and water, and there was even a dog there whose name was also Gia, the same name as the bride.
It wouldn't be a wedding without dancing.
Nope, sure wouldn't. Actually, funny thing about the dog, he loved the dog and was playing with her and stuff, and the next morning he woke up asking for Gia, and I thought, oh, that's so sweet, he wants to see cousin Gia again. And then he goes, doggy, and I'm like, oh, he wants to see Gia the dog. Anyway, so that was our road trip to the wedding and our experience there, and tune in next time for the ride home.